Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss, and with us is the legendary, famous Miss Arlene Limas. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's
Welcome
great
to
to be
Inside
here.
Scoop.
Yes, welcome to Inside Scoop. How was your day?
Good day. Anytime I'm kicking and punching and, having fun doing that, it's a good day.
Awesome.
Yeah, you mentioned you just got done with a workout. You said you had a boxing workout of some kind. What was
Yeah,
that? What was that?
on Mondays and Wednesdays, we're still doing a virtual boxing class. So I get that going. Yeah, I've got a good group, so it's good.
That's good.
Yeah, you have a nice little Walter Payton plaque behind you. I find that interesting because I got my guy Chris Carter behind me. That's
Okay.
my Hall of Famer. But
Okay.
So I got to tell you, so it's interesting that we just kind of talked about that because today, unfortunately, like very sadly, one of the great Chicago Bears players of all time, Gale Sayers, passed away.
Yep.
So
the Kansas Comet. Yep.
Our hearts are with those, to his friends and family. Now, here's something wild and just completely random. Ms. Limas, you and I have never met each other.
Nope.
I've never even had a conversation with you before. I have randomly had multiple conversations with people about you, not in martial arts.
Wow. Not in martial arts. Wow.
This is the wildest thing. I'd say like a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, it happened on 3 different occasions. So you say you grew up in the Chicagoland area, right?
Yep.
Whereabouts were you from?
In the city on the north side.
Okay. All right. So just had a couple customers' houses that I happen to be in. Go ahead.
But in the city, not like, oh, I'm from Chicago, but I live in Arlington Heights or Palatine. No, in the city.
Ironically enough, I was in Arlington Heights when this happened. So, because that happens, I know exactly what you're talking about. So I was at a customer's house and he says, so what do? You look like you're in shape. I said, well, I just, work out a little bit. He says, you look like you're in some kind of athlete shape. I said, well, I'm a martial artist. He says, well, I knew this person one time. I don't know if you know who Arlene Limas is. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. How the hell are we talking about this? Right? That happened on 3 different occasions. Promise. Right?
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. That happened on 3 separate occasions.
Well, it was, at the time when I won my medal and you can't hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I got you.
I can't hear you.
So, at the time that I won my medal, it was a big deal, and I'm a member of the Chicago Sports Hall of Fame. It was pretty awesome. I mean, Chicago really embraced what I was doing, and it was good stuff. I mean, martial arts was in my opinion, martial arts was in its heyday then. And Chicago was like, one of those hubs. So it was a lot of fun to be a part of.
Let's talk about that a little bit. So
yes.
A lot of people that come on the show and guests that come on the show, what we've done in the past is we've said, tell me how it started, and we get them going. Now, and we just kind of walk through their martial arts career. Now, I feel like with you, it wouldn't be possible to do that. The reason why is because your career is so long and it's so decorated.
I have 3 lives. I see like I have 3 lives in martial arts. I have
All right, tell me.
My life that when I started martial arts at 5 years old, I started in Shaolin Kung Fu, only female, only non-adult in the whole school.
And what year? What year was that?
Well, it's probably 72, 73, right around there.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I start hitting a few tournaments, when I'm 10, 11, start hitting my first year of junior circuit at 13, start fighting adult women at 14, because they had crazy rules back then. So it was an age category, but if you were taller than a certain height,
right,
you heighted out. You had to go to adults. It was crazy. It didn't make any sense, but that's what they did. So
wow. Yeah. I remember
I was fighting.
We were talking to, John Chung had his anniversary thing this year. And one of the stories he was telling was Charlie Lee running back and forth, telling him that this girl was kicking all the guys' butts at the Battle of Atlanta, right?
He did say that, yeah.
And it was awesome. And he was talking about you. and
Yeah.
they're like, check this girl out, she's kicking everybody's butt. And so they had you fighting boys, fighting girls, everything,
Yeah.
right?
I actually, when I moved up to fight Linda Denley at 14, the first time that I caught a round kick from her in the face, I was like, wow, that wasn't as hard as Freddie Latuli hit me. That wasn't as hard as Rick Rufus hit me.
Right.
That wasn't as hard as Rooster McKayan hit me. So, I had already been
Been
fighting,
through it.
like, yeah, guys come up with mustaches and I've got to fight against them.
Wow.
So walk me through that a little bit. I mean, you mentioned you hit the hot point that I really wanted to get into, and that was your battles with Linda. So
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
never got a chance to see your career, yet I've seen you fight because I was connected with somebody who had tapes.
Right. So
And I
in
watched some matches between you and Linda, and battles are exactly what they were. Tell me about
yeah,
how this goes. You said you were 14 when you guys first fought each other.
yeah, 14 at the Diamond Nationals.
Okay.
At the
Wow.
Diamond
Wow.
Nationals. So in my opinion, this is how kind of our battle started, right? I mean, Linda dominated. I think she still holds the record for like 500 straight sparring wins or something crazy like that. I
Crazy.
mean,
Yeah.
it was awesome. It was awesome.
Wait,
And I watched that.
500 straight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Okay.
I didn't
So
even know
I'm
that was
watching,
possible.
right? So I'm watching her as a peewee. I'm watching her as a junior, and now I'm fighting her in the Diamond Nationals, you
Right.
know. Um, so I mean, it was surreal the first time I fought her, and I beat her at the Diamond Nationals. So
Wow.
it was
Yeah.
crazy. But that changed everything. The combination of Linda and I and the matches that we had, it changed everything for black belt women's sparring.
Correct.
I mean,
Yeah.
in the finals, and I'm not saying this, in a bragging manner, but when the black belt women's division came up in the finals, people went and got a soda, people went and got a beer, people ran to the restroom. That's what used to happen because Linda was so dominant,
Hmm.
you kind of just knew Linda was going to crush whoever she was fighting.
Right.
So once Linda and I started humbugging, then that became like, oh no, we got to watch this. Arlene and Linda are going to fight. You know,
Wow.
um, yeah, it was awesome. I don't become the fighter that I became. I don't become an Olympian without fighting Linda. I really don't.
Wow, you just
Yeah.
dropped so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that's good stuff. So 14, first fight with her, and you end up winning. And then this starts this. I mean, like you said, and it makes sense. It changed women's fighting and
Yeah.
gave her someone to battle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it opened up everything. I mean, we used to have just, lightweight, heavyweight. That was it. And,
Yeah.
they didn't
Right.
really weigh us. They just kind of stood you in a line and divided you up, you know.
Right. Right.
Then,
N-
then it opened up more weight divisions for everybody. It was good. There was a time period there when we were getting equal payment and grand championship funds, just like, the men were getting. So, yeah, I feel, Linda and I did a lot. In addition to that, people went like, man, if Arlene can beat her, maybe I got a chance. So
right.
then other people started fighting her stronger and harder. So it just improved the whole division. I mean, the
Yeah.
women's sparring just took a big jump.
Right. It only takes one, right? It takes one per. It's
Yeah.
the same thing with when people for a long time just felt like they couldn't beat Raymond Daniels, and when someone did, then someone was like, all right, well maybe I can do it, and you see it
Right.
get better, and
Right.
it's the same.
Yep.
It's the same thing with I'm sure with Nasty and different ones like that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're right, Jeff, but I also think Arlene's right on when she was saying, like, well, that would be the time when people would just go take their own personal intermission,
Yeah.
and they would just
Right.
go do that. But but you're right on when you say like that was the point when all of a sudden there started to be more interest in women's fighting. And that's not different from other sports.
No.
If you
Right.
think about it, like people say all the time that Magic Johnson and Larry Bird saved the NBA because before that, the finals were on tape delay. People didn't really tune in to watch them. They'd be watching it from like a day or two before that.
Yeah.
But then also that's not that different than kind of the eras of women's fighting. So post Arlene and Linda, you know, the next real great, not that there wasn't great fighters, but the next real great fighter would probably be Nikki Carlson Lee. So Nikki,
Well, you had Shavella too.
Shavella, yeah,
Right,
You had
Shavella,
right.
Shavella. You had Nikki.
absolutely.
I mean, man,
But I
Nikki's
just,
front leg, incredible,
there
incredible.
you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So, but
She,
then
you know,
you have to
Nikki
have,
tried to make a run at Olympic style, and she actually had some good success. So she came
Yeah.
and trained with me to try to transition to that style. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I remember
and
seeing the videos of that and some of the fights. And yeah, I mean, I thought she got close.
I think
but you
the issue
have
for
to
Nikki
have.
is
Go ahead.
Nikki wasn't used to being in a weight cutting sport. And in order for her to have the most success in Olympic style, I think a division lighter would have been better for her. But she was
Okay.
like, "Oh no, I'll just fight heavyweight." Well, it's different, you know. You fight someone from China
Yeah.
who's now, you know,
Like
Does
real
it-
6'4".
6'4"
Right,
in
right.
heavyweight. Yeah, right.
Well, since you brought it up, let's talk about that. So when you say the Olympic style and Taekwondo, that's different. You mentioned you started in Kung Fu.
Yeah.
How did the Taekwondo transition happen?
Yeah, how did that happen?
So even when I was training in Kung Fu, I have 4 brothers. 2 of them are black sashes, high degree sashes in Kung Fu, and even when we were training in Kung Fu, there were no Kung Fu tournaments. There were only Taekwondo tournaments in Chicago. So we would take off our sash, take off our black, you know, butterfly uniform,
Yeah.
put on
You got a
put
target on
on
your back when you wear one of those anyway.
Yeah.
put on a Taekwondo uniform and go fight in Taekwondo tournaments. It's just that we couldn't groin kick
Right.
until the Midwest tournament circuit started, and then groin kicks were allowed. And you know, but yeah, we would just change our uniform and go fight in these Taekwondo tournaments, even as a a young person. That was
Wow.
still the majority of the way we fought.
Okay. Now, what style of Taekwondo is this? Is this ITF Taekwondo or
WT.
Yeah.
Right, and they changed it. They used to be
Wow.
WT. They used to be WTF, right? But
Right.
now what that stands for with kids, right? So it's
Right.
WT, World Taekwondo.
Yeah, WT.
Okay, so now that is Olympic style Taekwondo.
Yeah, and the
That's
transition,
hard.
So what was happening at that time is I was finishing up high school. I had, I was fortunate. I played softball and basketball in high school, and I had schools looking at me to play those sports.
Okay.
So I had a couple offers to play for a scholarship, softball and women's basketball. So
All right.
at that point, I was on my mind. I was thinking, okay, I'm done. I've been the #1 female fighter in for all practical purposes at that time, the world, but definitely North America. So I'm just going to do these other sports and, you know, go to school, go to college. And then someone said, hey, you know, Taekwondo is going to be in the Olympics in '88. And I was like, okay, yeah, try this tournament. This tournament's, you know, going to be this weekend. It's just, you know, regional tournament. So I said, okay, you know, these are the rules. You're going to fight 3 rounds. You know, they're not going to stop. They're not going to call points.
Continuous. Yep.
Right. So I thought I was pretty good, you know. So I get to this regional tournament and I'm front legging, pop, 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 kicking him in the head, but they're still coming.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I had convinced myself fighting point that, yeah, you know, if I wanted to go knockout, I could, but I'm just fighting point. But here I was kicking these people as hard as at that time that I could, and I wasn't knocking them out.
Right.
All right, so I get back from the first round and I'm like, what the heck? Come back out for the second round. I mean, after I finished that first fight, I was like, sold. I love this. This is a new challenge. This is awesome. My chest is burning. Okay, when can I start training? It was a new goal for me. And I was hooked at that point, from that one regional tournament. I was
That's
like, let's do
awesome.
it. I'm ready.
So
Yeah.
so you spelled it out right there, right? How different it is. I've competed in a few WT.
Yeah, WT. Yeah.
Right.
Let's say WT.
Let's say World
Or Olympic
Taekwondo
style.
Federation.
You could just say Olympic style.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Olympic style.
Okay, Olympic style Taekwondo tournament. So I've competed in a few of them. When I was in Minnesota, there was the World Taekwondo Academy with Bayong Yoli and Oily, like they had.
Yeah, Oiley's good friend of mine.
Oh,
Wow.
wow, that's crazy. All right.
We share the
Okay.
same birthday. February
Wow.
9th. Boy,
Oh,
yep.
wow. Didn't think that was going to
Wow,
happen.
that's cool.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So, I trained with him a little bit. Yeah, that guy, he is a beast, all right? And
Yep.
he's good. So, and I learned right away, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. And I had the same mindset as you. It was like, I don't run into, at that time, the only person who ever outkicked me was Jason Borelli. And Jason Borelli ain't at this tournament, so I don't have a problem. Except I had many problems. The best and strongest kickers I've ever faced.
Yeah.
We're all
Yeah.
Taekwondo kickers. Now, I watched this. Now, were some of the rules, and tell me this, was there the rule that you can't punch him in the face? Was that a rule?
Yeah,
still?
there's no face punch. There's no face punch still.
So
Okay.
that messed
But
with
now,
me.
and when I was fighting in the 80s, you could never get a point for a punch. It was
Yeah,
only
I never got
used
one
to it was only used to to close the distance, or
yeah.
Push.
frustrate. Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Kind of control, get in your opponent's head. Like, I had good punches because of point,
Right.
and my dad was a boxer. So I would just pound him. I didn't care that I got a point for it or not. But you don't get points. Now you get points for punches. I mean,
Yeah.
I would love fighting. I would love fighting under the rules now. But you get
Yeah.
point for punches, 3-point face kicks, 4-point spin kicks. I mean,
What?
double bonus. Yeah, it's crazy now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy now.
Oh, wow.
Scores are like 42-41. I mean, it's awesome. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's crazy.
Never
Wow.
have
You know,
I
when-
ever had that. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Well, so that was a weird thing for me. So I trained it for a number of months before I went in my first one. And then sure enough, guy goes chest to chest, because that's what you do. Since you can't punch to the face and you want to jam them,
Right.
what was happening is they would just go chest to chest. And then right away, my initial reaction, just an instinct, I just grabbed his uniform, pulled him, and then punched him in the face. And right before it was going to go, I tried to stop it. And it was like a weak punch. But he looked at me like, what would you do that for? That was the rudest thing.
Right. Yeah. They get,
I tried to apologize like right away. I'm like, man, I'm so sorry.
well, yeah, I mean, it's more than just the rule, but culturally, it's offensive for Koreans to be struck with a hand to the face. Culturally, it's like spitting on them. So that's why you get those looks like, what
And I
the
got it,
heck?
for
What are
sure.
you doing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, however, though, I did witness that same day. So as I got beat, because right? Because I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I was still trying to front like guys. I watched a guy. And when they would go to block, they would just stick their arms down, because they would do, triple and quadruple kicks at the ribs and at the side.
At the flanks. Yep.
Mhm.
So a guy goes down to block, but I'm watching the heavyweight division. And when he kicks him, his arm snaps and spins around, breaks it right in half.
Yeah.
Coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Coolest
I
thing
mean,
ever.
see some
And
crazy stuff, man, and some
And he
crazy
sends the guy to the
knockouts.
medic. And I'm like, well, bro, I'm sorry. Ain't no medic can do that for you. You need to go to the ER.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
have you ever seen anything like that before? Tell me what some crazy stuff you've seen like that.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, they need to do something for the equipment, because I mean, there's probably at a world championship level, I would probably say 15 broken hands.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not from striking, it's from blocking and catching the kick.
Well, now they at least wear the glove.
Catching the kick like
a
that.
little bit of the glove. It's almost like a biker glove now, right?
But
it
not
doesn't do
enough.
anything.
Right.
Yeah. So you get a lot of, like, it's like a boxer fracture.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
It's usually
yeah,
right
yeah.
here, but it's because you caught the kick underneath. Just breaks your
It just
hand
breaks.
because you're blocking. That happens a lot. I mean, you get some people. Jackie Galloway, our last one of our Olympians, I think 2 or 3 times she's had her hand broken. So it happens. It happens a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So it's 1988.
But knockouts are, I mean, just
the worst.
right. Especially in the 80s. In the 80s, when footwork was so elaborate. Now it's kind of slowed down, because what they realized by doing the electronic scoring is it gave instant legitimacy to the front leg, especially the front leg side kick.
Mm-hmm.
So you're round kicking and you're not generating on the scoring shield, because it's electronic censored scoring in the Olympics now.
Right.
Okay. So now the unintended consequence is this electronic scoring. Everybody's just going with their front leg. Boom, hitting that side kick. They call it cut kick. boom, boom, points going up, boom, points going up. So now front leg is very, very popular in Olympic style. So it misses out on those. You don't see those doubles and triples and awesome spins that we used to have in the 80s and early 90s. But that's when it was a lot of fun, to get someone kicking off the back leg and boom, eating that back kick at the same time. The
Wow.
timing was just awesome.
Yeah.
So a lot of good things like that. A lot of very athletic things.
I think you hit it when you said athletic.
Yeah,
That-
athletic.
yeah.
kick.
That's what
Yeah.
like the strategy might be a lot higher now, but the athleticism and the strength
Right.
and the power way stronger than.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. So yeah,
So-
so from that regional event, what was the process to get to the Olympics?
I just started fighting more, and what the first big event I went to was national collegiates because I was in college. So I went to the collegiate championships. Little did I know, if you win that tournament, you make the collegiate team that goes to world universities.
Okay.
So then I won there. I made the team, went to world universities at UC Berkeley, people from all over the country, all over the world there. And I win there, and I beat the current world champion there.
Wow.
But people don't know me.
Yeah.
People really
right.
don't know me.
Yeah.
I even went to that event with no coach.
Mhm.
And someone had asked, someone in Chicago said, "Oh, I'll get someone to coach you when you get there."
Yeah.
So I got there, and the person had an athlete in my division. So they said, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be
so
able
I
to
can't
coach
do
you
it.
because I got someone in there. But I got someone for you. It's
Yeah.
Herb Perez.
Wow.
Stop.
It's Herb Perez. Okay.
Wow, that's
So-
great.
So Herb Perez is sitting in my chair, right?
What?
And I start the match, my first match, and I could tell immediately that the person who I'm fighting is not as good as me.
Okay.
So the way they're moving, right? So I'm kind of playing around a little bit. I side kick, round kick, boom, her nose just starts bleeding. So I'm like, oh, shoot. So I'm just kind of hitting her in the body. I'm clearly winning. I'm not worried about it. Come back to the chair in between rounds. Herb Perez goes, if you don't knock her out this round, I'm not going to be in your chair for the third round.
Wow. All right.
Okay. And then he
Okay.
goes,
Okay.
and then he
All
goes,
right, Herb.
I had this big nerdy chest guard on because I know better. I was a nerd. I just started this style, right? So he goes, and get a chest guard that fits you. I'm like, okay, thanks. Go back out to the second round. Of course, I don't knock her out. There's no reason to knock her out. I'm going to win this match, right?
Right.
So he left. He left.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. And this is
Wow.
so
All right.
yeah, in case others don't know, Herb Perez was Olympic gold medalist.
Right. Went on to
In
92 to win a gold
yeah.
medal. Yep.
Correct.
Yeah.
He won the first gold medal, right?
No. He won in 92.
In 92.
Yeah,
Oh, wait.
92.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah. So I fought in 88.
You
Jimmy
was
Kim
right.
fought
You
in 88.
in
Right.
Seoul.
Yep.
Yep.
And then he fought in 92. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
My mistakes.
But
Now,
so anyway, the story, so I fought collegiates, I made the collegiate team, and now I'm starting to get on people's radar. First, and before I started fighting at a national level, I wrote a letter to the United States Taekwondo Union, and I said, hey, I just want to let you know, I've been fighting point for a long time. I'd like to try this style. If there's a problem with me doing this because these tournaments gave $100 prize money or $250 prize money, please tell me.
Right.
I don't think anybody thought I would have success.
Mhm.
So nobody said anything. But now I win world universities and they're like, whoa, you can't fight. You're professional.
Wow. Yeah.
So team trials start in 88. I go to nationals and they say, you're done. You can't fight. You can't fight anymore. So I called back to Chicago to some friends of mine and they're like, okay, we're going to get an attorney there. We're going to put an injunction on nationals in Miami. So these two attorneys come walking in with their suitcases, boom, to all the Korean masters. And they're like, hey, this tournament's done. You can't have this tournament anymore.
Wow.
So we have these backroom meetings and they, the short story is after numerous, like an arbitration, all kind of crazy things, I win the right to team trials, to participate in team trials. And then
And
I
then,
won there.
yeah. Wow.
You
But
got
they
to
didn't.
win
They
at that
did.
point.
Yeah, you had
They
to.
did. They did not. They did not want someone who was, in their opinion, an outsider.
Right.
Right.
Coming
Right.
in and winning. And I get, they worked hard to get that sport where it was going.
Yeah.
And they didn't want someone just to come in. And I think they didn't know who I was and how I was going to represent myself.
Correct. Correct.
So I mean, I
And
get
in
it.
their
I don't
mind,
know.
maybe you can't be good. If they didn't know who you were, you can't be good.
Right.
Right.
And if I didn't
Right.
have a Korean master and all those
Yeah.
things,
Oh
Right.
yeah. Yeah.
the coach
Yeah.
that I trained with in Chicago was named Kareem Jabbar, not a Korean master.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. So I mean, man, that definitely, I'm sure a lot of people in sport martial arts can understand that. Going from different leagues, and feeling like that, or going from different styles. Even from if they went from traditional to an open tournament, or vice versa. I know we've
Yep.
had a lot of our people lately who have transitioned from sport martial arts into the WKF style circuit.
Right. With the
And so,
with the
yeah,
goal of the Olympics, I hope.
right,
I mean,
right, right,
I'm torn. I'm torn for karate. I'm excited because I know what that felt like. Like, man, Taekwondo's in the Olympics and I'm going to be involved. I know how awesome that feels. But I also I have lived through the, in a sense, the watering down
mhm,
of
yep,
Taekwondo.
right,
The watering down
I
of
wanted to
it
talk to you about that.
as a
yeah,
martial art.
yeah,
And I hope karate does it different. I really do. I remember in the 80s, and I thought it was the strangest thing that our coach, Grandmaster Sang Lee, was a US coach at the time. When he'd walk into the arena, into the gym when we'd start working out, we would all stop, stand up. Hello, sir.
yeah,
Hello, sir. Good morning, sir. And he used to tell us, guys, don't ever lose that. When the swimming coach comes on the deck, the swimmers don't come out of the pool and say good morning.
right,
They just pretend like he's not even there. When the basketball coach comes, the players just keep talking and they don't acknowledge the coach. Don't lose the martial art
right,
in this, And for whatever reason, we lost it,
hmm,
you know. Even myself, my guys, we'll work out in a t-shirt, we'll work out, we have never done that in the 80s.
right,
We're full uniform all the time,
yeah,
but we fought so hard to be considered athletes. We fought so hard for that. We lost a little bit of being martial artists.
yeah.
And I
Wow,
think we could have
wow,
done it different. We could have done it different. We could have been martial artists that were good athletes,
yeah,
which
right,
which we were. So
correct.
I
Wow,
hope
So
karate does it better.
yeah, wow. That's
so
some
you
great stuff to
you
share there.
mentioned a
Yeah,
couple things. You mentioned like, okay, you witnessed Taekwondo have a little bit of a watering down.
Right.
So when I would, go into a Taekwondo school, if I were to do that now, well, I did that in a few years in the past. When you go into a Taekwondo school, you can tell right away what type of system this is. And if it is the WTKD system, the Olympic style system, like you can tell right away. And it's almost as if that's just the style that they train for. This is all we do. And this is just what we're going to do. All right. We're not really going to do
Right.
anything outside of that. All right. Or if it's an ITF system, but
Right.
even in their world, like they still stay in their world. Like they don't
Yeah.
really go outside of that.
yeah,
I mean, you have people like Oi, who are, to me, are very innovative, right? He's got his kids doing boxing drills. He's got his kids doing jiu-jitsu.
wow,
Yes, they focus on Taekwondo. They focus on Olympic style Taekwondo, and he produces some great athletes, especially his daughter, cadet world champion. But he keeps them well-rounded, and he'll break it up for them. But there are a lot of schools that, if you're not kicking in the Olympic style way, which might not even be a good traditional round kick, it might
right,
be just a sport round kick.
That's what I'm
You
talking
know,
about. It's
right?
exactly it.
And it's sometimes it's like scratching a chalkboard for me, But I personally, I realize that I am a dinosaur. I realize that the things that I believe in are starting to be old.
Well,
you know?
what are some of those things?
Well, I mean, like for example, there are points, there are kicks, techniques that have evolved out of the scoring apparatus, the
Okay.
electronic chess guard, that in your clinch, someone just jumps up and kind of pops their foot like that, like jump up and kick you with like an inside crescent kick from this close.
Right. It's
Or
just
in
like,
theory,
come on.
can't you just do it with your hand too?
Well, there's no sensors in your hand
No,
pad,
no
only in
sensors
your
in the
foot
hand
pad.
Oh, okay.
Right. But they
I
call it
got you.
right. But they call it like a monkey kick.
pad. A monkey kick.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
There's a scorpion kick, which is like what Christina Rothrock used to
Yeah.
do in her form.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
I've
these
seen
are
videos
scoring.
of that. Yeah.
These are scoring.
Yeah.
There's a fish kick where they jump up and kind of throw an in tight round kick, like brush across the chest guard. Great. To me, I'm not saying anything about the athletes. The athletes are fighting to the rules. They're fighting to the predicament that they're in. And they
Exactly.
do some pretty incredible stuff. But I don't want to, my athletes suffer because I'm not going to drill them on that. Okay, guys, today we're going to do, fish kick.
Right.
I can't,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
We're going to throw a round kick where we chamber and we pivot and we kick through. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry that's not scoring right now.
Right.
So
Right.
I feel like I'm doing a disservice.
See,
But,
but it's
yeah.
predictable. But if you let them know that going into it and say, listen, you're not a fool. You see that these fish kick things happen. I can't teach it to you because of this.
Right.
I mean, so it's not like you're just being
Right.
transparent, then, aren't you?
Right.
No, and I will. And I'll say, guys, okay, we're going to do this drill. We're going to work this drill in the clinch. If you want to practice that fish kick out of this clinch, please feel free to work it in.
Just make sure
But I'm not going to drill and say, okay, ready, go, jump and fish kick. No, I
Right.
can't. I can't. That's not me.
Oh, man. All right. So let's get just into that moment of what it was like at the Olympics. And then we'll go into your next, because you said you had your early phase, your second one, which is this phase, and then your next one. And we want to get into that as well. So.
Right. I mean, Olympic Games were just amazing. I mean, we were the first team to arrive there, first U.S. team to arrive in Korea. It was so important that the U.S. team do well in '88. In my opinion, and in the opinion of many, many people, if U.S. doesn't have the showing that they do in '88, there is no official sport Taekwondo.
Correct. Yeah.
I think U.S. pushes for sports that they can win.
Yeah.
they're not going to push for a sport that they can't win. We proved to them, hey, we can win at this. Women's team was #1 in the world after those Olympic Games. So, I think we did what we were supposed to do. Go have a good show in there. And then we had a real shot at becoming an official sport in 2000. And that's what happened. But the Olympic Games were incredible. I mean, and the further I get away from it, the more important it is to me,
Yeah.
It was a great experience. And, I was just kind of, for a lot of things that happened to me, it was the right place at the right time. I was fighting on the first day, was able to capture the first gold medal for the U.S., which got us a lot more press than it would have gotten.
Yeah.
The national anthem didn't work because they thought Korea was going to win. So we sang the national anthem. So that got us some more press. Just little things like that,
I did not know that.
Yeah.
You couldn't have planned it differently, but it gave Taekwondo a lot of publicity that we wouldn't have gotten the other way.
And the more I'm thinking about this, the more I'm really thinking, like, Arlene, really, if it wasn't for you, I'm not sure Taekwondo would still really exist. And here's why I say that. At least,
well, I mean, there were a lot of people.
Well, I know that, but let's just be real. In '88, the Olympics was in Seoul, Korea. Okay, and it wasn't decided yet that it was going to continue to be an official sport, right? And it was supposed to be as a demonstration sport.
Yep.
But it's in Korea, and it's Taekwondo. And they had the big performance for like the opening ceremonies, right?
Yep.
The big, like the marching basics, when everybody's marching, doing that, everything was insane. It was a nice ceremony. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then here comes this American. Not only does she win, because it's America, that's a big deal worldwide. If America does something, everybody has to pay attention to it. Okay, doesn't matter whether it's good or bad. You got to pay attention if America does something, and America did something. Not only that, They so much didn't even think that you had a chance. They didn't even have your national anthem. Like, what's the point of
Yeah.
getting this thing ready?
Right.
She's gonna get
Crazy, right?
smoked.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's crazy.
And then, we had a lot of U.S. military there, and they were there in the stands.
Mhm.
So when the anthem didn't play and the flags were up, we just sang it. I mean, it was spontaneous. It was incredible.
Wow, that's so
So
cool.
we're just singing our national
Yeah.
anthem a cappella.
I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah. Wow.
It
That's
was
so
awesome,
cool.
man. It was
That's
awesome.
so cool. Now, do you have your gold medal near you or no?
Yeah, Mike Bates is asking
I
if
don't
you
have
could
my
show us
gold
that.
medal. I don't have my gold medal close, but I do have my participation medal from the Olympic Games.
All right.
Get it? This is so
So,
cool. I can't
hang
believe
on,
this.
hang on. So everybody gets one of these. Let's see if
Okay.
you can see that.
When you go.
So that's
all right.
as a participant in the games.
All right,
Wow.
so
Kinda cool.
so everybody gets that.
Yeah. This is just
That's pretty dope.
one of the
Yeah.
opening ceremony things we were supposed to wear.
Yeah.
And then here's World Championship medal. That was in
Yeah.
'91.
Bring it over the other way. Yeah. All right.
That's Greece.
Wow.
So
Awesome. That's great stuff. Thank
Um,
you.
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
This is my mind is kind of going other
Yeah.
directions here. So you've got we talked about your sport karate career. So obviously the amount of awards and accolades you have.
what I want to tell you is at that
Go
time
ahead.
in the '80s, you just fought whatever.
Right.
You fought. I mean, I fought for kick, which was like a kickboxing card. I mean, I fought in a round ring where we locked arms like we were in a Bruce Lee thing. I mean, whatever, wherever, you just fight. You just kept fighting, man. You fight on Saturday, then you fight on Sunday at a different tournament.
Yep. Yeah.
That's what the benefit was when I moved to Olympic styles. Those guys were fighting 4 times a year. I was fighting 40 times a year.
Right.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
That was the difference for me. That was the difference.
Yeah. That's just numbers and volume. And then also too, that by the time you were of age in Olympic, you had already been fighting women for years. So
yes,
you kind of were used to that,
Right.
So, and like you said before too, you were fighting men before you even went into the female division. So it's just you were just
it was 15 to
there.
17.
Right.
15 to 17, and I was 13 and too tall for the Pee Wee division, which I should have been in. So I was in juniors 15 to 17 and 13. It was easier to fight the women than it was fighting Rick Rufus. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Wow.
I fought Rick Rufus in the finals at Diamond Nationals. I beat Rick Rufus in the finals.
Wow.
The year before I beat Linda, I beat Rick Rufus. Good friend of mine. Good friend of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a battle.
Martial arts in America doesn't look the same without Rick Rufus. Rick Rufus is he's a heavyweight.
Yeah.
He's big. He's a big dude.
Well, he wasn't that big then.
No.
We were juniors. We were kids.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were kids. Pee Wee division. Pee Wee and junior.
Wow.
That's so cool. So you, after the Olympics, how long did you continue fighting in Olympic Taekwondo?
Yeah.
I fought Worlds '91. I won World Universities again. I fought one World Cup in '90. And I made a run at '92. It didn't work out the way I wanted to. There was still, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I'm not making any excuses, but there was still a lot of political stuff. I kept proving myself. Like, okay, you guys say I'm not committed to Taekwondo. I'm here. I just won a World Cup for US. Okay. Right. You guys still say I'm not committed to Taekwondo. I'm here. I just won Worlds. There are only, I think last count is there's only 14 world champions in U.S. history. At that time it was even less.
Wow. Wow.
I'm here. I'm not going back to point.
Right.
I'm bringing you 20 athletes at juniors, all fighting Olympic style. I'm here. I'm committed to this, and I just think they still felt I wasn't one of them. I still felt like an outsider.
You hit it. You said it.
Yeah.
You weren't one of them.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. Because I got booed when I won, and it was when I did, Olympic style. It was very clear that I was not a Taekwondo athlete. It was very clear I was a sport karate athlete. and I'm out there, and I'm moving my leg everywhere, and they're trying to putt a chuggy, and they're trying to cut kick, and I'm just moving it all around, and I'm spinning, and I'm just front legging them the whole time.
Right.
I'm getting booed, and I remember going back, and I wasn't even training with Oi at the time, but it was his tournament, and I'm like, yo, what's going on? Why do they like me? And they go, yeah, they just don't know you. They're gonna boo you.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not one of them.
You're not one of them yet. Yeah. You got to
So
get through.
I mean,
Right.
so it wasn't, I had just come off from, winning the Olympic test event, and it felt like, that they wanted someone else. They wanted a different athlete.
A different one at that time.
Right.
Yeah.
Barb Kunkel went forward in 92, also a good friend of mine. We didn't have success for that division, but it is what it is. That was it. And then I started coaching. I opened up a school. I had worked for Jeff Smith for a little bit because he had wanted to he wanted to transition. He felt that the future for Taekwondo was going to be Olympic style.
Okay.
So he wanted to kind of revamp his curriculum and add that Olympic style aspect. So I worked with him for a couple years, and then branched off with Elsa Cordero and Ralph Chung, and we opened our own line of schools.
Yeah, power kicks.
Yes. I'm the only one that still has a school, who's actively teaching. But yeah, 27 years we've been open in Virginia.
Yeah.
And that's phase 3. I mean, coaching, and I love it. I love it. I love learning more about how to motivate athletes and what's going to work for them. And, I knew what worked for me. So becoming a coach and trying to figure out how to teach people how to do what was best for them, what was going to work for their body type, what was going to work for their, their strategies, their mental toughness, all those things. It's just so inspiring to me to try to develop that in an athlete.
Right.
Well, I think what was interesting and what's great about what you mentioned is you had 3 phases, right? And it seems like you feel 100% comfortable with each transition you've made.
Yeah.
And I gotta say that's commendable, because there's times where I thought about it and I'm like, I don't know, man, maybe I want to go back. Maybe I want to do some more. I'm done. By the way, I'm done.
Well,
right?
I mean, it's not like I hadn't thought about it, because when it became an official sport in 2000, right? When it became an official sport in 2000, I got my athletes mixed up. I came back. I won the Olympic test event for 2000, and Barb Kunkel made that team.
Okay.
So once again, same thing kind of happened in 92. Danielle Laney went. She took a bronze in 92 when Herb won his gold. And I came back, and that was after a long layoff, and I still was pretty relative,
Yeah.
I felt I should have made that team in 2000. No disrespect to Coach Kunkel, but yeah, I mean, it was. It's not that I didn't want to try that. I would have loved to have been an official sport. I would have loved to have been an athlete at that level. So
right.
I stopped in 92, but I did make a run in 2000.
In 2000.
Wow.
Okay. Awesome. Now,
and I fought at some team match at the Capitol Classics in the 90s at some point.
That's what I was just going to say.
That
too.
was
Right.
so much
So
fun.
That was
so
fun.
much fun.
I shared that growing up. That was one of my favorite set fights ever. Was the Dream Team versus like the new team or whatever, and it was like they did it 2 years in a row. I think they did in 93 and 94, and I don't know if you fought on both of them, but I thought you did. But
yeah, I think so. I think I did.
Yeah. I think you did both. And I know one year it was the Prestige team, which had Nikki, and I think Peaches was on that team, and somebody else. But, Michelle Orengo was on there as well. And, I mean, I just remember those fights being just awesome. And just the crowd going crazy. I mean, I was probably 8 or 9, and just – I mean, that was some of the best stuff I remember. And that was so cool. Dennis Brown put those on. And
that was a lot of fun.
And so it was you, Linda, and Rhonda
Alexander. Yeah.
And both times, right?
It just felt so good to back for someone again at that team match.
Yeah.
It felt really nice. Felt really nice to back.
They work.
Yeah.
So
Mike Bates wants to know if you're still in Chicago.
No, I'm in Virginia, but my goal is to, as I, transition out of teaching and coaching, which,
Yeah.
that has to happen at some point.
Right. Right.
I've been teaching for a very long time. The goal is to get back to Chicago and be closer to the elders in my family as they age.
Hmm.
So that is the goal,
Yeah.
to be back in Chicago.
Yeah. You and I had that conversation in was it January, I guess, about that, and just about the exiting phase and what your
Yeah.
your exit strategy and moving back there. And I know talking to you, you just seem just excited, happy, and
Yeah.
just about everything. One of the other things I want to bring up too is when you started Power Kicks. I know Elsa was still probably competing
Yep.
a little bit, and so there was a big presence of Power Kicks in sport karate tournaments on the East Coast.
Yes.
And several of the guys, people from your school, went on to do big things. So we could in movies and stunts. So
Yeah.
let's name some of those guys. So
So, I mean, uh, we have Ramon Diocampo, who's active in theater, and he voiceovers a lot of books. We've got
wow,
Rika Diocampo, also doing theater in New York. We've got Kofi, we've got Arnold
yeah,
Chan, we've got Alvin Chan, we've got Gio.
Gio Cabrera, all those
These guys were
guys.
my first team. These guys were
Yeah,
my
they were the
first team when I
first
came
one.
to Virginia.
Yeah, yep, yeah. So
Wow.
yeah, so Kofi Annan was from her school, so that's why
Right?
he would. And you mentioned him as one of your competitors of the week one year, right?
Mm-hmm.
One time,
Yeah.
Alex,
Yep.
and just how his style was just crazy. It was just different, and you didn't see it as much. And it was that Olympic Taekwondo
Yeah, because
style
he
that
was,
he put in.
skipping axe kicking people and jump
Yeah,
back kicking people. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah.
17 and a half feet tall.
Yeah. Yeah. What very athletic kid,
oh
man.
yeah,
Very
yeah.
athletic kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's cool to
I'd love
see
to see him
him
again.
and stuff. Yeah, see him in movies and everything that's going on right now. So
Yeah.
I know growing up for me, I was in Southern Virginia, so I would see those guys, and I grew up with all of them as well. So we were always pretty close, and it was great, seeing what Arnold has done and those guys, and just knowing where they came from. I mean
Yeah.
that just especially in that time, what other top two lady athletes there were there in there, the best forms and
And
best
producing
fighting.
and producing good athletes. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
yeah, Elsa and Arlene, just insane. So
Well, let's mention that for a
yeah,
moment because we kind of touched on that, and this kind of goes to a question, an observation, a question I have, and also one that one of our listeners, Mike Bates, also had as well. So I kind of mentioned, like, all right, it went from you and Linda. That was an era. And then it kind of transitioned after that, where there was always like a top dog. There was always like two top dogs that were there. The reason I said Nikki's because Nikki spanned for so long that she always had someone else with her along the way. But then it starts to go lately in the last 5 to 10 years in a different direction,
right.
where there was Chelsea Nash was just it was just her and everybody was competing for second. Right as Chelsea's making an exit, Morgan Plowden starts to really emerge, right? And it's now flipped. Now it's Morgan, and it's everybody else in the world is really competing. Like, can they be as good as Morgan? Well, right now the answer has been no, right? And so that's kind of where I'm wondering, like, gee, what? So Olympics, Taekwondo in the Olympics wouldn't look the same without you because – right, you did so much for it, but maybe sport karate wouldn't look the same either because you mentioned.
Well, I mean, listen, there were a lot of people. There were a lot of people in Olympic style, especially like someone like Lynette Love, 10-time national champion, multiple-time world champion. Yeah. She was there when no one was looking at it, and she held her ground and won that gold medal in '88 as well. Our team captain. So, I mean, there were a lot of women,
That's a good point. I should check myself on that.
So,
but now here's to Mike's question though. Mike was wondering.
I do have to let you know I only have a few more minutes. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's okay. That's no problem. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Mike's question was, what do you think sport karate can do for women to promote women the same? All right, here he goes. Yeah.
Great question.
Okay.
Great question.
I mean, I think the argument that Linda and I used to make and other female competitors in the 80s used to make is, they used to say, we don't have enough people for a division. Well, you don't give us a division.
Right.
Someone like Lori Lantrip is not going to come out and fight us. She weighs like 80.
Yeah.
She's not going to come out and fight us. So
Right.
give us 2 divisions and we'll fill it. Okay, they gave us 2, we filled it. Give us 3, we'll fill it. You know, you got to give us the opportunities. You just can't say, well, they're never come. Brown and black belts are going to fight together so we can have a bigger division. No, come on, man.
Yeah.
You know,
And the brown belt
so
stopped coming.
Yeah.
right,
Yep.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know, give them some opportunities. For me, I have to apologize because I don't get to a lot of NASCAR
Right.
style tournaments much anymore. It doesn't look like there's a lot of sparring that's highlighted anymore. It looks like it's a lot of creative
The
forms. And,
forms.
you know, I appreciate that. And there's a lot of tricking out there and it's very athletic.
Right.
But, you know, there's not a lot of sparring anymore. So maybe if there were more sparring, you'd get more, get more people
Right.
sparring.
Right. Yeah. And one more question.
But again, remember,
yeah.
I warned you guys, I'm a dinosaur. So,
Hey,
You're
it's
speaking
all
our
right.
language.
Yeah, you're speaking what we. Yep. What about someone? What's some advice from someone that may be from a sport karate background to get into competing in Olympic style? What would be some
Thinking,
advice?
Jeff, what I was thinking.
I would say you need to get out of your comfort zone and you need to become a better athlete.
Okay.
You need to hit the plyos, you need to hit the weights, you need to hit agility, you need to, you need to be more explosive, you need to take focus in nutrition. If you want to become a world championship Olympic style athlete in karate or taekwondo, you've got to be an Olympic athlete. You have to be that. You got to be. You're saying you want to be a Michael Phelps. You're saying you want to be these things, right? In our sport. So you got to be those things.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You cannot. In the 80s, there was a guy who used to win quite often, Russell Mapes. I don't know if you ever heard of him. Okay. This guy would pull up to a tournament in a station wagon, and in the back of the station wagon, there would be the beer cans that he was just throwing back there.
Right.
And he'd win. He would win point tournaments.
Yeah.
Nicest guy.
Right.
Machine Gun Mapes. That was his nickname. Russell Machine Gun Mapes. Okay. That person doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
You have to be an athlete, even in sport karate now.
Oh, yeah.
But at an Olympic level, it's even more. They say it takes 10,000 quality training hours to become an Olympian. That's what the research shows.
Okay. Wow.
Okay. Quality.
If
your first 3 years of studying martial arts, you had a bad instructor and a bad coach and it wasn't quality, then those don't count.
Right.
Right.
I actually
So
think
it's
it's a 40,000 hour
quality.
Wow. Yeah.
So
I love it. Man, this has been very informative and just fun, just going down, just all the different, just the things. I'm sure there's so much more to touch eventually, and hopefully we could have you on again.
I'd love it, guys. This was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. Alex and I, the way we end every interview, or like we say, conversation, is what is your voicemail to the world? So what do you want to let the world know about you, or your mentality, or just something you want to tell the world?
Never let your fear be bigger than your pride.
All right.
Right. So be so prideful that you're not afraid of something, in a sense,
Okay.
That's what my dad used to tell me. Don't let your, don't let your fear be bigger than your pride. When it comes to competition. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us, Arlene. And I know Alex was excited to finally be able to talk to you and
super excited.
Yeah. So it was great. And yeah, thank you so much. And thank you for joining us, and have a good rest of your evening. All right.
All right. Thanks, guys.
See you.
Right.
Limas.
Bye-bye.
Wow.
Man, that was cool.
That was cool.
She kind of just took over.
Oh, yeah.
With a lot of that. I mean,
yeah.
A lot of
she
the
had
questions
a plan.
I was going to ask, and I feel like you were going to ask, she just decided, oh, here, guys, I'm just going to answer your questions before you ask. I'm like, all right, I guess.
Oh, man.
That was pretty great.
That was awesome.
Yeah, she went into it. You know what I thought was so interesting? She had those awards right there.
Yeah.
I was going to ask her, but she just I want to interrupt her. I almost interrupted her a couple times. She kind of apologized for not having, the Olympic gold medal right there.
Right.
Well, she had so many. And I'm thinking, I'm like, all the accolades you've had. What do you really? Because you could the whole room you're sitting.
Right, could be all
full,
kinds of stuff.
Right,
Yeah.
could be full.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, like for you, do you still have all of yours? No. But
No,
what do you?
no. I've
Right.
had given some away, and I've had to.
And after a while, you just like, I'm not accepting it, or you just hand it over to the 10-year-old who's right there at the tournament, right? All
right.
What is some stuff you keep?
I think we talked about this again. I mean, before it would just like I keep my rings, my NBL rings, my NBL belts, all of my like my certificate from WKA Worlds and my NASCA World ones that I got years ago when I was younger, because those are like the first ones that I kind of went after. The U.S. Open Grand Champion I kept because to me that was iconic with the plate.
Yeah.
And
just like the award sometimes like the award.
Your first one, I think. Yeah. Most people try to keep.
But your award a lot of times it might look cheesy.
Right.
But what it is, like when you said it's U.S. Open.
Yeah.
It's a little different.
Correct.
But I think, man, if I had an Olympic gold medal, forget that noise. That thing. I don't even need the rest of them.
Right. Correct. Yeah.
Like, you're a martial artist? No, I'm an Olympian.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, did you medal? Gold, sucker.
Oh man.
Oh wow. So this was great.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, that was fun. I know we were under a time crunch. We didn't get to answer a lot of you guys questions and stuff with that. But I mean, man, this was fun. This is so
Mike
much.
Saying, but there's no way that she's giving up the Olympic medal unless my mom wanted it at her house. Yeah.
Oh man,
that's pretty good.
That's true. Let's see. Some people, different people, just sharing different things about, just how awesome that was and how cool she was.
Colin O'Brien was saying that she was her Sifu's instructor. Yeah. I know exactly who he's talking about. Charles Wilson. Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool.
Is there a website to find NASCA or fame ratings from the 90s nowadays? Awesome.
I have most of the NASCA yearbooks still. I'm going to have to bring those out for a show one time.
This is your Jeffopedia. You got all that stuff. I used to have some of those.
And you know what I used to do, right? So on the way to tournaments, I would take those, and that's what I would read on the way to tournaments. I would remember who won each year and everything. And then if we were on a trip with someone, they would quiz me.
I used to do the same kind of thing, only no one would ever want to quiz me.
I would do that, and then the same thing with NBL magazines. So I knew I was one of the only people that knew all the Super Grand stuff and the NASCA stuff. But now it's harder because I don't do that as often. You know what I mean? So it's kind of funny. But yeah, I mean that kind of thing is what we need. We need to have those on a site. The NASCA ones, the fame ones, all the NBL ones. That's the one thing that I always liked, even though the brochure was this thick every year for Super Grands. But the reason why is because it had the results from every single Super Grands in it. So if you won a Super Grands title in that brochure the next year, you were going to be featured. It was listed. It had the results and the rankings, which was cool. Which I think we need more of in our sport. So, man.
You're gonna be watching the fights on Saturday?
Yes, I gotta get that. Gotta get my ticket tonight.
I just realized I didn't buy mine yet. Here
same,
I am talking all this. Like,
I know.
I haven't even paid it. I haven't even done it yet. I know, such a dope. But hey, there's a lot of fights.
Yeah.
You want to do any predictions? I mean, we did the predictions last time. We can kind of go through.
It's fine. I'm not worried. I mean, we've already gotten called out, so who cares, right? It don't matter to us.
So we got Emma Cullion versus Sabia Sabrine.
Yes. So, I've just watched.
I've watched none of them.
I've seen Emma before, but it's been a few years. And I've just seen some training videos or whatever of Sabine. So I don't really know. I think I'm going to go with Sabine as the unknown one, but that sounds like she's underrated. So
that's what I keep hearing. Yeah. I keep hearing that Emma was like the top dog, and
she's been a NASCA champion for a long time.
Sabia's no joke now.
Right.
All right, you're going Sabia.
Yep.
I'm gonna go Emma.
All right.
Because why not? I don't know.
Why not? Right? Yeah.
All right. Darren Payne, the
Yep.
champion from Virtual Fight Tour 1
Yes.
versus Romani Alicia. And Romani, he was showing out at the Battle of Atlanta.
He was.
He
And
was
I remember
showing
him as
out.
a junior, man. He was an
Oh,
amazing junior
his
forms
forms were
and
fantastic.
fighting. Yeah, he was great.
Yeah.
And he's from, under Joseph Greenhall.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Yeah. He's a straight up guy.
Just a straight up guy in a lot of ways. So
Yeah. No pun intended.
Yeah. But that's who I'm going with. I'm going with Romani. Just knowing his work ethic, his just explosiveness, the way that he moves, and he kind of took like a little bit of a break, and I think he probably needed that, and now he's like hungry, and so I'm excited to see that fight.
I'm going the opposite. I'm going Darren
All right.
Payne. Darren Payne, I think, is that good. And I think Darren Payne, he's got a 3-inch reach. Is a 3 or 4-inch reach.
Right.
On him. I
True.
just think he could use that. So I'm gonna go Darren Payne.
Okay.
All right.
And his reach helped him in the last fight.
Yep,
we saw.
it did.
Yep.
And he's not fighting the same type of fighter.
No.
The spacing could be similar. It could be.
It could.
But hey, man,
we'll see.
strategies change.
Yeah.
All right, we got El Java Abdul Kadir versus Yoskar Games. What do we got?
I'm going to stick with what I thought from the beginning of this. I was impressed with Yoksar over last weekend, watching his fights with high level competitors like Kevin and John Cortolo and other ones, and kind of similar to what Chris talked about, and him and I actually talked about this as well. I guess we all talked about it on the group page, on our message, and that he is maybe better than what you think. We'll just say that. I had to throw you out there, but I still
I don't know what that's about.
I still believe in Java. I think that just his athleticism, his just focus on just getting the win is something that I haven't seen before, and I've seen a lot of.
Whoa, what happened to you there, Jeff?
It was actually Arlene calling me.
All right, you're back.
Yeah.
Now.
So
okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with
what
Java.
You got,
I'm gonna go with Java. I'm going with Java.
You're going all that. You're still going with Java. All right.
Yes.
Java.
Sorry,
I'm thinking Java. That's fine. I'm going with Java also. Yeah. Yoskar. I mean, he's got some wins. He's. What are you gonna know? I mean, Yoskar is good, but
you think Java is great, and he is. I think he is great.
I can't picture where Java should lose. I just can't picture it. Doesn't mean Java won't.
Right.
What I said is what I said. I can't picture a scenario at all where Java should lose.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, Mr. Walker. Let's go with Java.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I'm going with Java.
Anthony Merricks, Brandon Balu.
All right. So you go first on this one.
I'm not gonna lie, this one's a hard one.
This is a hard one. That's what I mean. I think this low key could be like the show stealer, like low key. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. I mean, I think that we know.
I don't think so.
We know what the best fight should be, and it should be like stand out what the best fight should be. But I think
it still will be.
Oh, I know, but it's just still going to be low key, like amazing.
Could this be the fight of the night? It's possible this could be the fight of the night.
But in a different way, you know what I mean? Like it's not going to be the same type of fight.
Are you thinking like it could be like where like Ryan and Kevin were fighting and that really was like, oh wow, that should have been the headline or something like that?
No, I don't think that at all.
All right, that's what I'm wondering.
No. It's not even close. I mean, no offense to anyone else. Like they thought, it's not even close. You have Bailey, who is the guy right now, with Jack, who's been the guy, and they've never fought before. That is the fight that everyone wants to see. But
we're not
the fight that's going to be hard hitting, it may get a little emotional. It may get a little heated. This is going to be that fight. Brandon is intense, man. Like, and he doesn't back down, and he surprises people. I remember us sitting and watching Diamonds together. All of us like, whoa, what is going on? And him just, like just saying, hey, I'm not someone to mess with.
How old is Brandon again? Brandon's 24.
I thought it was younger than that. I thought he was like 22. But yeah.
And Anthony's 29.
Yeah, 29.
Ooh,
Yeah.
That plays a factor. Anthony's getting close to, if he's not already, he's getting close to his physical peak here in the next couple of years, either now or in the next couple of years.
Right. And I love Anthony, man. He's a great person and all that. I just have seen him get up and then get down, get up and get down. And I guess Brandon has had that as well. But I feel like in the 3 rounds, it really depends on what Anthony we see, in shape, focused,
Yeah, but when Anthony gets up, I mean, I talked to someone who's a great fighter who swears Ross Levine's the best fighter in the world and gave ever, right? And gave a very compelling argument why. And we've seen when Anthony's up, beat Ross. And I'm like, wow. All right.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go Brandon. I'm gonna go with Brandon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say he's about to level up. Not this time, Jeff. All right, Walker's going with Ant.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I'm going with Brandon as well. I think the cage is actually going to be a factor in this because again, if you are up, the running is a little. You can't step out of bounds. You can't do those types of things. So we're going to kind of see where it goes. But Anthony does have a big weight advantage. So yeah, I mean this fight can go either way. But I just feel like right now Brandon is the guy that wants it. He's driven.
All right, on to the main event. The young lion Bailey Murphy versus the Iceman, Jack Felton.
Right.
Can we just I feel like, you know what? Can we just sign a rematch before they even do this fight?
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. No matter who wins, you're going to want to see this fight again.
Yes.
We haven't even watched it the first time.
No, but we know.
I already want a rematch.
Right.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I'm that excited.
It's gonna be great. I mean, I'm pumped up, I'm gonna get it and make sure that even if people aren't martial artists, that they watch it. Wherever I'm at, and be like, hey, watch this. These guys are smart. This is gonna be fast. This is gonna be fun. Let's see it. So, yeah. I mean,
all right.
I know. I mean, we've hinted at what we think. I think the past few weeks we've talked about these fights and just what we think about Jack and about Bailey.
Let's just go with it quick. Let's just say who they are. Jack is probably the most respected. I don't know anybody who doesn't like Jack Felton. I'm gonna say that right now. I don't know anybody who doesn't like Jack Felton.
Agreed.
Jack Felton is, it's interesting. I think it was like when Jesse did their accomplishments, and Jack just said world renowned.
Yeah. Right.
And that's really it.
Yeah.
All right. It's really, and it's really it, man. I say for the last decade, it's been
honestly, man. Jack Felton has been known since as a junior. People were
absolutely.
So pumped. There's only a few juniors that I can think of, and I can think about 10 off my head over the past 30-some years that I've been in this, that people were just excited and ready to see move up to adults.
Yeah.
And almost fearful when they did move up.
Knowing when they move up.
Right. Things are going to change.
You're 22, 23 years old. When this 17-year-old pumps up, you are going to lose.
Right.
Right.
And then guess what? Now he's facing that same guy.
Yeah.
Right. Who else? I mean, over the past 5 years, that was the one that everyone really.
Bailey was one of them.
And Bailey, you know what? Was one of them.
Bailey was one of them.
Yeah.
Well, I remember Ross Levine was one. Damian Rodriguez was one. Alex Lane was one.
Yep. For me, it was Willie Hicks definitely at that time.
Yeah.
Brian Ruth was one, and Thomas Wright, Jason Facey. Those.
But Brian Ruth was fighting adult when he was 15.
No, he kind of. I mean, he probably was, but he was still like the top. He was the top junior in forms, weapons, and fighting, and just moved right up on. I mean, his first year he went to JPM. Okay, as an adult. So
All right,
all right,
we're kicking the can enough.
yeah.
Let's make who
So
you got.
so I'm picking Jack. I've let it known since we've done this. He's my favorite fighter.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so I'm going with Jack. Again, it's not disrespectful at
Nope,
all.
it's not.
It is. I mean, I love Bailey. I would love to see him keep going at it, and I think he will. What I'm excited about is just what's going to happen over this next month. He has this fight, and then next month he has a big chance to win Pro Point, and that's going to be exciting to see. Him against some of those guys. So I think he's doing all the right things during this time.
Yeah, which is fight as many times as possible.
Exactly, and these set fights have given him the opportunity to get the fights he wants and not have to go, wherever to a tournament and then hopefully beat them. Or hey, I won all my stuff, but he didn't. Which happens a lot. So
speaking of,
but I'm going with Jack.
You're going with Jack
in a very, very close match.
I'm gonna go with Bailey, and I'm gonna say it's also close. And I'm gonna say in the third round, Bailey gets some momentum stuff going, and Bailey just pulls out.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna go with. All
right. And yeah, I mean, I it could go either way, and it's just gonna be it's exciting to see. I know just the experience level on this is gonna, I think, could make a change, a difference. But who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, it's gonna be good. All right, well, I gotta go get my ticket now. This is gonna be
yes.
It's gonna be good. Man, I loved this interview.
Yes,
with Arlene
a lot of
Limas.
fun.
This was great. She really talked a lot about how important sport karate is through other martial arts or combat martial arts sanctioning bodies as well.
Yes, right. Yes, definitely. Yeah, yeah, I loved it. Let's see, we got maybe a few minutes. Does anyone got any questions for us or about that? What we thought of during the interview, and to finish up. But I know, guys, like that was a great one. What was something else that stood out to you during that? I mean, I know for me, I guess I didn't realize the whole, her being so young.
Right.
And I knew that she was fighting boys and teenagers in the junior division. I knew that. But again, just the 14 and beating Linda Dinley, your first time going against her, that's crazy.
And I knew she beat her. I didn't know it was her first time.
Right.
That's wild.
All right, so this is a good one. Gail puts up, do you think the Bailey versus Jack will be a passing of the torch if Bailey wins? I kind of agree with what Carlos said the other night. I don't think it is, because I don't think that means that Jack is done.
We're going to get two. Well, how old is Jack? Jack's 35.
I think they said 33, but yeah, 33. Yeah, because he's at least 3 years younger than me. So, yeah.
He's younger. Oh,
yeah. I know. I don't.
Did he compete? Did he compete before as an adult before he was 18?
Yeah, he did. But
I'm doing the math that way.
Right.
I think is what it is.
Yeah. No. So yeah. I mean, I think this is just going to be. I don't think it's going to be a pass on the torch. I think it's just going to be like, I don't know. I mean, just
no. If he's 33, he's 33 or 34. He's still got a couple of years before.
Right.
And he's still got a few. But hey, man.
Right. And I do like what Carlos says. Like, if he loses, he's going to find him and go after him.
I can't hear you. Can you hear me? So if you're doing something, I can't hear it.
I don't know.
But until you get that going,
got me now.
Mike Bates commented. He said 500 wins in a row. Yeah. That's wild.
With Linda.
Who the heck knew that? Jeff,
you hear me now? Wow.
So that was a wild one. Jeff, you back?
I can hear you, Jeff.
All right.
You can? Oh, well, that's important. I'm just the guy who can't hear you. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah. So I don't even know where we're at. But I don't think it's a passing of the torch. But I do think that it's just going to show that Bailey is the guy, you know, and that, like he said, he's the present and the future. So, can you hear me? No.
All right. No, I can't hear. If you're asking me if I can hear you, the answer is no. I can't.
Wow.
But if you're asking me if you want me to sign us off, I will sign us off.
Hold on.
I
What's the
agree with
next
Jeff. What is
question?
Wes Walker saying? I agree with you, Jeff. I can hear you. All right. So yeah, that's all right. It's just me. All right. I'm the oddball out. That's fine. I don't mind that.
It's all right. I couldn't hear you guys
All right.
earlier too, and I had
Jeff,
to do
give
the
me a
same
thumbs
thing.
up if you want me to sign us off, because
You don't know what's going on. So all I'm saying, guys, I think it's going to be great. Hope you guys are ready to, have some fun this weekend. Watch it, and man, I think it's going to be exciting. So see everyone this weekend, and go ahead, Alex.
this has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you next.